Cool. Great. Awesome. So I will not assume that all of you have been to Yoga to the People in New York City or San Francisco or Tempe, Arizona, or we're in Israel somewhere now. But for those who are, I hope this is a welcome substitute. For those who aren't, welcome to our community. We're all about being ourselves. Generally speaking, this is intended to be very mature practice. So do not feel pressured in any way whatsoever to do stuff just because I said so. So with that in mind, I see a bunch of eager faces. I suppose that we can get started in Balasana, child's pose. So for those of you who don't know, child's pose, with my magic camera, is a posture in which you put your knees at the back of your mat and you put your hips back onto your heels. And you have all kinds of options pretty much from here. You'd like to put your head towards or onto the floor, and you can make choices. You can have your arms out long in front of you, palms facing down. And alternatively, if that doesn't feel comfortable, if you want to try something different, you can have your hands back by your hips, palms facing up. And before you get super committed to what you're doing, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself whether you are in fact comfortable, or whether you're just doing the thing because I told you to do it. So maybe adjust your knees, move them together, move them apart. Maybe move your head around a little bit, relax the back of your neck. Notice where your shoulders are. Relax your shoulders. Excellent. And then here, start to develop a lot of awareness. Our environments are sort of atypical for yoga. Sorry. Our environment's somewhat atypical for yoga, but nevertheless, be mindful. You may not have stepped out of your everyday life. You may not have stepped out of the room that you've been in all day, but try to find a different appreciation or an awareness of it. So notice the pressure of your mat or your carpet against your shins. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. Notice the sound of my tinny electronic voice. And once you develop this really acute awareness of right now, start to focus that attention on those sensations associated with your breath. So noticing smooth inhales and gentle exhales. Imagine we're doing this together. Take a smooth, deep, full breath in. Feel it fill your belly, fill your chest, fill your throat. And using vibration, if you feel comfortable, exhale, ha. Continue that till your lungs are empty. And follow it with a nice, another fuller, even deeper breath in. Fill yourself up so much it feels almost as though your ribs are stretching. Hold that for a moment. And with your lips sealed, exhale, Yeah, I see some pets getting very excited about that. So remember throughout your yoga practice to continue breathing. It is this motion of your breath that is the engine of your practice. It is the impetus. It is the spark that makes everything else happen. And if at any point you feel like you've lost your breath, meaning not just maybe lost your breath physically, but lost your awareness of your breath too, if that happens, feel free to come back here, Balasana, child's pose, and come back to this quality of attention. But in any case, now that we're here, as you breathe, and with the rhythm and the cycle of your breath, start to move your hips gently from side to side. Feel your weight shift gently from shin to shin. Feel your spine gently starting to snake. Feel your shoulders sliding on your back. Feel your head gently rolling on the floor. Start to carry this energy, this sensation, this change out into your extremities. So even if you haven't already, start to reach your arms out long in front of you. Reach them so far forward that your elbows straighten and lift from the mat. Spread your fingers wide, root your palms firmly into the floor. And then for right now, just keep your hips on your heels, but curl your toes under. And as you continue to sway your hips from side to side, get that sensation also into your toe tips. Stretching through the soles of your feet, opening up the backs of your ankles, feeling that maybe also into your calves. With your hands rooted firmly into the floor, press down and inhale. Really press your hips back into your heels. And then on an exhale, press your hips high, head low. Come into your first downward facing dog-ish thing. It is not a perfect shape. So an upside down V shape, your hands about shoulders width apart, your feet about hips width. But otherwise, start to maybe pedal out the feet, sway through the hips, move through your spine. Don't forget about your upper body. Move into your shoulders, move your head, move your neck. And only then start to firm it up. So finding straight lines in this posture, one from hands to hips, one from hips to heels, making each as long as you can. Actively pressing down to the knuckles of the index finger and thumb. Feel that rotation through your arms, a gentle opening in your upper back as your shoulder blades move somewhat towards your hips. With your next inhale, reach your right leg long behind you. And as you do that, try to keep your hips square so that the right hip doesn't lift up. Think instead of creating length from the right hand to the right toe tips. Then on an exhale, start to move through the right leg. So bending the knee, moving the ankle, moving through the hips. This is not an exercise of strength or flexibility. It's just a matter of warming up your joints, getting everything ready to move. With your next inhale, reach your right leg long behind you again. Square the hips off. And then exhale, place your right foot right next to your left. With your next inhale, reach your left leg long this time. And again, find length from left hand to left toes, through your left hip, left shoulder. And then on an exhale, start to move through the knee, the hip, the ankle, even the toes. Playing around with the balance in your hands. There's not a particularly right or wrong way to do this. So do it in your way, experience it, again, with your breath. With your next inhale, reach your left leg long. And then exhale, place your left foot down next to your right. With your next inhale, lift your sitting bones up very high. As you exhale, soften your knees and lift your heels up high. Look forward past your hands. And then with an inhale, walk your feet forward to your hands and find your way into a halfway lift. So feet at the front of the mat, hands to your shins or thighs, finding length through your spine. Staying here for just a moment, keep your gaze down at the floor. Think of lengthening through the crown of your head. Your shoulder blades draw back, your heart draws forward. One more inhale here for length. And then exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Make sure that your feet are about hips width and parallel. With your next inhale, reach your arms forward and up, coming to Tadasana or Vastasana, mountain pose with arms up, so creatively named. And then here, exhale, allow your eyes to close for a moment.
Here?
What do you mean?
So,
Yeah, of course.
What? I don't know. I saw a thing.
So here, notice the soles of your feet. Notice the strength in your legs. Notice the orientation of your hips. And again, your breath. As you exhale, find a lift from your pelvic floor. As you inhale, find space in your low back. As you exhale, draw your belly in and slightly up. As you inhale, feel your heart lifting up and slightly out. Exhales, shoulder blades soften back and slightly down. With the inhale, the back of your neck lengthens. With the exhale, find some support through the front of your throat. If your eyes are closed, allow them to open. As you inhale, lift your heart, draw your thumbs back. Find just a gentle back bend. And then exhale, fold forward. Again, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale into a halfway lift, drawing the belly in to move the ribs away from the hips. And as you exhale, fold forward, maintaining that length. One more time, with the rhythm of your breath, inhale, reach arms forward, bring yourself up, come directly back into that gentle back bend, and then exhale, fold forward again. Inhale, half lift, long, reset, reorient the spine. Last time, exhale, fold forward, And in the rhythm of your own breath, as it comes, inhale, come up into the back bend, and then exhale, bring yourself back down. Just learning to follow your own body and not my prompts or my voice. Excellent. Outstanding. With your next inhale, find again that halfway lift. And then this time, as you exhale, place the hands down and step the feet back to a plank. So shoulders directly over wrists, the hips as high as the shoulders, the legs are long and strong behind you. If you aren't looking at your screen, which of course is justified, try to look down at your mat. Notice where your shoulders are, draw them away from your ears. Try not to lift too much out of the shoulders or sink down into them. Find that nice middle ground in between. Take one more inhale here. Imagine yourself doing that half lift again, lengthening through your spine. But this time, as you exhale, come forward slightly in the wrists, bend the elbows halfway, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, heart forward and up, shoulder blades back and down, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. And exhale, hips high, head low, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So that is, as we call it, our flow. We come through it in between sets of postures. It sort of breaks up our practice. Downward facing dog, for the most part, for much of the practice, is going to be kind of like home base. So here's your downward facing dog. From here, inhale, reach your right leg long behind you. And then actually, as you exhale, listen carefully. Bring your right knee close to your forehead. Come high onto the ball of your left foot. Tuck your tailbone. Suck in your belly. Hollow out your chest. And lightly step your right foot forward in between your hands if you can. From here, release your left heel down. And with your next inhale, reach your arms forward and up. Coming to Virabhadrasana, Warrior One. Outstanding. So we're going to stay here for a moment. You stay right where you are. I'm going to watch. So here, it's very important. Keep your right knee pretty much directly over your right ankle. At the same time, keep your left leg long and strong behind you. So pressing to the back edge of that left foot. Feel yourself grounding through the ball of your left foot. And without actually moving your foot, think of spreading the toes towards the back of your mat. And use that action through your lower leg to help move that left hip just a little bit more forward. And of course, see if you can't sink just a little bit lower into that lunge. With your next inhale, lift your chest up, draw your thumbs back. Feel for some space and length of side body as you come to a gentle back bend. And then exhale, place the hands down to frame the right foot, step it back and lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. So that lower plank. Inhale, upward facing, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. And then exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Awesome. With your next inhale, reach your left leg long behind you. And doing that again, exhale, bring your left knee close into your forehead, come high onto the ball of your right foot, tuck your tailbone, suck in your belly, hollow your chest, and lightly step your left foot forward in between your hands. Release your right heel down, inhale, arms, upper body up, Virabhadrasana, Warrior One. Outstanding. So as you sink low into this lunge, feeling for that nice, stable structure underneath you, imagine also finding a certain lightness through your upper body. Your rib cage lifting up away from your hips. There's always going to be a bit of an arch in your back in this posture, but see if you can't use your breath and the integrity to support you're creating through your midsection to diminish that somewhat. Good. Soften the shoulders, down your back. Press the elbows nice and straight. Reach actively through fingertips. One more inhale here. Lift your heart up. Draw your thumbs back. And then exhale, hands frame left foot. Step it back and lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. You guys are so beautifully synchronized. I didn't expect this in modern technology. So having learned that sequence, Warrior One and the flow, now is your opportunity to take it in your own time. So one breath, one motion. Take Warrior One on the right side, then Warrior One on the left side. And as you do that, really pay attention to that subtle transition between the inhale and the exhale. That very subtle sensation that you can barely grasp the moment where one becomes the other. And use that, if you can, as your guide. Don't worry too much about what the people on the screen may be doing. or the pace at which they may be going. Again, maybe even just close your eyes so that you can better pay attention to what your body is doing, what your body is telling you. Excellent. So see, some of you are like going very slowly. You feel like this is a nice, strong evening or morning or whatever time of day it happens to be, wherever in the world you happen to be. All y'all Antipodean folks just waking up. Excellent. So for those of you who are still moving, keep moving. For those of you who found your downward facing dog, stay there and make it strong and stay aware. So think of perhaps rolling your inner thighs towards the wall behind you. Think of softening your heels just a bit closer to the floor. And then together, let's take a breath. Exhale, empty, empty, empty out your lungs. Find again a full deep breath that enervates your body, that roots you to the floor, that lifts your hips higher. And then with a sound of your choice, exhale, let that go. With your next inhale, reach your right leg long behind you. Again, notice your hips, keep them square. And then exhale, step that right foot forward in between your hands. Release your left heel down. Inhale, come up to the warrior one. You know the shape already, arms reaching towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, open warrior two. So right arm forward, left arm back. Beautiful. So as you make that transition, those of you who are relatively new to this, really notice how the hips now turn to open towards the long side of your mat. Make sure as that happens, your right knee stays over the ankle for the safety of your knee, and continue to make your left leg nice and strong. You do something somewhat different in your left leg than you did when you were in Warrior One. Think of almost lifting the arch of the left foot. Feel the left toes trying to draw in towards the center line of your body, and feel your left leg pulling your left hip now away from your right as you open your hips wide. Think of then sinking your hips just a little bit lower. Think of drawing the back of your pelvis, the back of your hips more down towards the floor. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, windmill the hands down to frame the right foot, step it back, and lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing, draw the shoulder blades down away from your ears. Good, then exhale, press back, downward facing dog. From here, inhale, reach your left leg long behind you. Exhale, step it forward in between your hands, release your right heel down. Inhale up, warrior one. And exhale, open, warrior two. Left arm forward, right arm back. So as you sink low into this lunge, at least aspire, it may not happen today, but the aspiration is that your left thigh will be perfectly parallel to the floor. So low have you come into this lunge. So as though you were going to put a glass of water on there, perhaps you need a glass of water at this point. In this posture, it takes a lot of strength to really maintain the desired shape through your upper body. Try to imagine a line from the bottom of your pelvis, from your pubic bones right in the front, to the bottom of your chest breastbone, your sternum, and draw those 2 points together. As you almost pull your stomach flat, taut like the head of a drum, feel an engagement down through your side body, and feel those 2 points contract as you inhale into your low back. Along with that kind of an engagement, think of making more length, more space behind and between the vertebrae of your low spine. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, windmill the hands down, step the left foot back and lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Again, inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. And in your time, one breath, one motion, warrior one, warrior two. And so this is like a fun moment. This is kind of a celebration of everything you've achieved, everything you've mastered so far just in this class. And of course, every class one builds on the next. That being the case, it's completely reasonable for you to expect your practice to be different. And not necessarily stronger or easier, not necessarily more, not necessarily finding more range of motion every time you come back to your mat. Just knowing that it's a process of evolution. And sometimes we take steps back before we are really in a position to take a step forward. So that too is fine. Lovely, excellent. So lots of beautiful practices in this metaphorical room today. So once again, those of you who are still moving, continue moving. No rush, no hurry. Those of you who found your downward facing dog, it might be feeling like a much stronger moment than it did at the beginning of practice, but together let's take a breath. Exhale, empty, empty, empty out your lungs. Smooth, full, even, deep breath in. And then exhale, let that go. Very good. So from here, with your next inhale, lift your sitting bones very high. Again, exhale, soften your knees, look forward past your hands. And inhale, step or lightly hop your feet to your hands. Find a halfway lift, long, lengthen through your spine. Then exhale, fold forward. Make sure your feet are about hips width distance apart and parallel. And with your next inhale, hips down, arms up, Utkatasana, chair pose. The awkward, the terrifying chair. Not terrifying really so much, but maybe it will be in a few moments. So here in this style of practice, the goal is to make the spine nice and flat. Keep your belly in, keep your hips low, keep your weight back on your heels. Keep your shoulders soft down your back even as you're active and engaged through the arms and fingertips. Breathing smooth and full. Complete inhales and exhales. One more breath in. And as you exhale, place your hands down, then press your legs straight. Inhale into a halfway lift, and then exhale, fold forward. You want to take a moment to pedal out your feet, to sway a little bit. If you want to do something fun with your arms, entirely appropriate. And then find your way back to a nice, stable, standing position. Again, with your feet parallel. With your next inhale, hips down, arms up, Utkatasana chair pose. Sitting nice and low. Good. So really, you have to, you chose to be doing this to yourself. In the first place, you chose to do a streaming yoga class when you could just as easily watch Netflix and drink beer or your libation of choice. And so embrace the potential for challenge here by sitting lower. Because you can. Because this is a strong shape, a strong, difficult posture, but it's fairly simple and safe. Take one more inhale to sit just a little bit lower. Yeah, and then exhale, hands down, legs straight, forward fold. Take a quick inhale to reset your spine. And then exhale, release yourself down again to the forward fold. Good. And let's just get this over with. Your next inhale, hips down, arms up, Utkatasana, chair pose. So even if you are starting to feel tired, don't forget about your core. Don't forget about your midsection. So keep your belly engaged. Think of knitting your bottom ribs in towards the center line of your body, but at the same time, keep the chest nice and open and expanded. Good. The shoulders still soft, fingers still active. One more inhale here. And then exhale, hands down, legs straight. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hands down, feet back and lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. With your next inhale, reach your right leg long behind you. And then exhale, step it forward in between your hands, release your left heel down. Inhale up, warrior one. This time, exhale, open, warrior two. Turn your right palm up to face the ceiling. Inhale, reach forward, lengthen through right side body. Exhale, up and then over, Viparita Vajrasana, the reverse warrior. Left hand comes to your thigh or shin. If you've got the range of motion in your shoulder, the left palm might be resting on your right thigh. Do that only if it serves you, not because you saw it on Instagram and it looks pretty. So using that left hand to help create more length through right side body and somewhat support through left side body and develop a greater awareness of what's going on through your right thigh. Take one more inhale here to fan the right ribs open, and then exhale, windmill the hands down to frame the right foot, step it back and lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your left leg long behind you. Exhale, step it forward in between your hands, release your right heel down. Inhale up, warrior one. Good. Then exhale, open, warrior two, left arm forward, right arm back. Rotate left palm up to face the ceiling. Inhale, reach forward, lengthen left side body. Exhale, up and over, Viparita Virabhadrasana. Taking care not to collapse through right side body. Taking care that your shoulders are square to the long side of your mat. Keeping your left elbow straight and probably left hand, reach it up towards the ceiling first and then take it somewhat back. And as you do so, rotate that left pinky in towards the center line of your body. That rotation is really the genesis of much of the side body stretch in this pose. One more inhale again to fan the ribs up and open. And then exhale, windmill the hands down to frame left foot, step it back lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. One breath, one motion. That is yours to do, to explore, to experience, to breathe your way through. And again, let it be your expression, your experience of these shapes or these intentions or just whatever happens to be happening for you right now, which could, again, be child's pose. Stuff doesn't need to be complicated. Just needs to be honest. Good, good, good. All right, so for those of you still moving, keep moving. Those of you in downward facing dog, we'll do another one of these collective breaths. Exhale, empty, empty, empty lungs. Smooth, full, even, complete breath in. And exhale, let that go. Good. With your inhale, reach your right leg long behind you. As you exhale, step it forward in between your hands lightly. Don't forget, release your left heel down. And this time you're going to inhale, hands back, chest forward, power lunge. One of those postures that doesn't really have a Sanskrit name. It's not so elegant. It's here to be strong and sweaty and itself. Keep your hips low. Don't let them sneak up. Stay low in that lunge as you were in Warrior One the first time we did it. Keep the palms down. Draw the shoulder blades a little bit together behind your back. Feel that chest open. That position of power and strength in your chest. One more inhale to reach back through your fingertips. As you exhale, extend them out long in front of you, feeling a reach, a lengthening even in this position of strength. With your next inhale, reach your upper body up, come up to Warrior One, and then exhale, open, Warrior Two. Take a nice inhale there. Stay low in your lunge. I saw that. Yes. Exhale, right hand to the inside of your right foot, left arm up towards the ceiling, Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. So if you can, for a moment here, try to get your right hand to the floor. I understand that's not in everybody's practice, but if possible, put your right hand on the floor and use your right arm as this column to support your right knee, to keep it stacked over the ankle while you push your right hip more towards the left. And look for that nice stretch to the inside of your thigh, right up close to the hip. It's really hard to get that stretch, so take advantage of it here. With your next exhale, start to extend. Reach your left arm out long in front of you, left palm facing down. Draw the left shoulder away from your ear. And again, find that rotation in through the left pinky to create that stretch through the left side body. If you're feeling strong here, if you really want it, reach the right arm out long in front of you too. And try to, you have the benefit, many of you have a camera to see yourself in. Try to make sure that your spine stays straight, that you're even through both sides of your body. Take one more inhale here. Feel that strength through left side body. And exhale, place your left hand down, your right arm up, Parivrtta Parsvakonasana, the revolved side angle. So try to keep the hips more or less squaring here and try to keep the feet really rooted and supported to hold your hips in place as you twist. Take one more good inhale here, opening through the intercostal muscles in between the ribs. And then as you exhale, take your right hand down to the inside of your right foot, wrap it counterclockwise I forget which direction if you're looking at the camera. Counterclockwise around your ankle. Bring your right shoulder underneath your right knee. Now, if you must, it's more than reasonable for you to perhaps put your left knee down on the floor as you make this wrap around the ankle, placing your head down. Breathe big into your low back. Breathe big into your upper back, for that matter. Find a lot of flexion rounding through your spine. One more exhale here. And then as you inhale, unwrap your right arm, reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Find your way back to that side angle pose. If you placed your knee down, this is a good moment to press that left leg straight again. And then from here on an exhale, drop your left arm round behind your back. Bring your right arm up beneath the thigh. Grab for your left wrist would be the more challenging way of doing it. If you can't grab your left wrist with your right hand, grab for fingertips. If you can't grab your fingertips, hopefully you have a piece of clothing or another random garment somewhere near your mat. Use that to make the connection, and then press your left elbow straight as you rotate your right arm in its socket, creating more of a stretch of the shoulders as you lift your heart up towards the ceiling. One more inhale here. Listen carefully. Exhale, release right arm down and left arm up. Moment of strength. Inhale, press yourself up to warrior two. Yes, stay low. Exhale, windmill the hands down, step the right foot back and lower. Chaturanga Dandasana. Because it's those little extra bits of torment and torture that really are my brand at this point. It's all I got. We're up dog to down dog, and we'll find our way back to the downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your left leg long behind you. And exhale, step it forward lightly in between your hands. Release your right heel down. You all ready for this? Inhale, hands back, chest forward, power lunge. And you have to like kind of have that image in your mind. You are that guy who, or gal or person, you know, running across the screen in an action movie while that voice, the voice, tells you about this is a world. So, asking for demonstrations. I think you just want me to suffer. So here, hands back, chest forward, heart open. One more inhale to reach. And then exhale, extend the arms out long in front of you. Yes, staying here, keeping that spine nice and long. Then inhale, coming up, warrior one. And then exhale, open, warrior two. Good, take one more inhale here, sinking low into your lunge. As you exhale, left hand down, right arm up, side angle. Good, and again, taking this opportunity to use this as a hip stretch. So left hand down to the floor, if that's possible, or use a book or something. Use that to hold your left knee in place, push your left hip towards the right, and actually think of kind of tucking your tailbone a little bit. That might help you find the stretch if you haven't already. One more inhale here. As you exhale, extend your right arm out long in front of you. Again, turning the right pinky in to get the stretch. And if you're feeling super strong, inhale, reaching the left arm out to meet it. Good, one more exhale here. Excuse me, one more inhale here, I should say. And then exhale, right arm down, left arm up, revolved side angle. If this is super impossible for you, just keep in mind, you can lift your right heel up. That might make it easier. Otherwise, keeping the right heel down to stay more grounded. One more inhale to twist. And then as you exhale, left hand to the inside of the left foot. Wrap it clockwise around the ankle and bring yourself in to the ankle bind. So I can't really talk and demonstrate that one. Think of really sucking your belly in that posture, pulling your belly button up against the back of your spine to create more space. Feel your head sinking down towards the floor. Someday one might put one's head behind one's calf into the other side of one's shin. Maybe alternatively, just putting a knee on the floor and working where you're at. So one more inhale here. As you exhale, unwrap the left arm. Inhale, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, drop the right arm behind the back. Bring the left arm up beneath the thigh. Grab for fingertips. If you're feeling super strong today, grab your right wrist with your left hand. You stay bound, I'm gonna move. Lift your heart up, turn your heart open more towards the ceiling, and try to press that right elbow more straight if you can. One more inhale here, listen carefully. Exhale, left arm down, right arm up. Inhale, press your upper body up. Warrior two, stay low in the lunge. Yes, exhale, windmill the hands down. Step the foot back and lower. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Yeah, I totally had chili before. This was a terrible choice. Lesson learned. So, downward facing dog. Yet again. From here, inhale, lift your sitting bones nice and high. As you exhale, soften your knees, look forward, prepare. Inhale, step or float your feet in between your hands. Inhale into a halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. So, you are folding forward. In this forward fold, you will bring your feet together because we're all about the letter F in this moment. So feet together, maybe separate the heels just a little bit apart so that your big middle toes rather are pointing forwards. So once you're here with your next inhale, hips down, arms up, a variation on chair pose. Good. So sitting low, bring your hands, palms pressing as you reach them forward and up. And then on an exhale, bring your hands to heart center, namaskar. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. And exhale, twist to your right, left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Now, as you do this, very important, check your knees. Make sure that your knees are even. So if your knees are even, that means your hips are even. If they're not, then your hips aren't. And instead of twisting through your spine, what you're doing is just turning your hips, which is, I mean, cool that you can do that, but not helpful for the purposes here. So even the knees, maybe you use the strength of the arms to twist farther. If you'd like, maybe release left arm down, right arm up. You got super open shoulders, drop the right arm around behind the back, grab for the fingertips behind the back, take the bind. Wherever you're at, bring your hands back to heart center. One more exhale here. It's gonna be fun. Inhale, come back to center, reach the arms out long in front of you. And then exhale, oh, it's a little bit different than we did on the other side. Exhale, twist to your left. Right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Oof. Good, stick with it, keep those hips low. Keep that heart open. Weight back in the heels, spine long. One more exhale here to twist. We're gonna stand all the way up. Inhale, feet together, arms up. Oh, and exhale, fold forward. And I just did that because that's what I wanted to do. Inhale into a halfway lift. And exhale, hands down, feet back and lower. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. Good, exhale, downward facing dog. From here, inhale, reach your right leg long behind you. And lightly exhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands. This time, all 10 toes are pointing forwards. So your left heel stays lifted. And with your next inhale, reach arms, upper body up, coming to your high lunge. Good, high lunge. So in your high lunge, make sure that your palms are pressing. Maybe that means your hands have to come more forward, that's fine. Maybe you have open shoulders and then more back, that's also fine. Keep the spine nice and long. And then on an exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, twist. To your right, left elbow to the outside of your right knee. So, you guys keep doing that. If you would like, you can release your left arm down, your right arm up. If you got open shoulders, maybe take the bind. So right arm behind your back, left arm up comes up from beneath the thigh. Grab for your right wrist if you can. Otherwise, fingertips, tool, towel, or just stay where you're at. One more exhale here to twist. Releasing your bind perhaps. Inhale, arms, upper body up to that high lunge. And then exhale, hands down, foot back, lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your left leg long behind you. Exhale, step it forward in between your hands, release your right heel down. Excuse me, don't release your right heel down. Keep your right heel lifted, all 10 toes pointing forwards. And inhale, arms, upper body up, high lunge. Good, so keep that right thigh super strong and active. One of the good benefits of this posture, really getting defined quads. But also it's gonna help you to open up your right hip flexor. From here, exhale, hands to heart center, namaskar. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, twisting to your left. Right elbow outside the left knee. Good. And then from here, making a choice. What's going to serve you? Maybe using the hands at heart center to really use strength to get into your twist. Maybe release into a flyaway, right arm down, left arm up to open through your chest. Maybe taking that bind if you have the space in your shoulders. Dropping left arm behind your back, bringing your right arm up beneath the thigh. Good. Keep lifting the ribs up as you open your heart up. Turn your heart open towards the ceiling. On an exhale, maybe release your bind. Inhale, arms, upper body up to the high lunge. And then exhale, hands down, foot back and lower. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Good, good, good. So for those of you who are using my music, I hope it has calmed down by now. We've gotten to that great track by R.A.P. Ferreira, who's an excellent New York City rapper who used to go by Milo, whom you should check out. But from here, slowing things down a little bit, we're gonna take our half pigeon. So inhale, reach your right leg long behind you. Bend the knee, open it at the top. And then as you exhale, bring your right knee to the outside of your right wrist. So towards the right front corner of your mat. And place your right foot towards the left side of your mat. Left leg is long behind you. So before we kind of collapse into this, what I would like you to do is to bring your upper body up and find length through your spine. Making sure that, as you adjust, making sure that your weight is distributed evenly between your two hips. So take a nice inhale to find length through your spine and keep that length as you then exhale, fold forward and down. Oh, that feels so good. So good. So half pigeon is a very different place in our practice. It is a more restorative posture. But that being the case doesn't mean that it is entirely passive. There's a lot to be done here. So pay attention in particular to the inhales. Use them to move your heart just a little bit forward. And with the exhales, see if you can't press your belly button a little bit closer to the floor. With your inhales, try to roll your right thigh out. And with your exhales, think of reaching your sitting bones more back. With your inhales, long through the spine. With the exhales, just opening through the hip. And keep breathing, even when it starts to really reveal to you your discomfort in this moment, your discomfort with this pose. It's totally okay to feel uncomfortable in uncomfortable situations. It's important to remember, it is not always a challenge for you to somehow rise above. And sometimes the most you can do is just be there with what you got. So in this posture, in this shape, in this collection of sensations, let's take another collective breath as you exhale again, empty, 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 empty out your lungs. And inhale, smooth, slow, full, belly, chest, back, throat. And exhale, let that go. So I'm gonna talk you through something here that's unusual. So as you inhale, bring yourself up only part way. And then as you exhale, take your left elbow and put it at the center of your mat. Place your left hand towards the right. As you inhale, reach your right arm up and take a gentle twist. And this is a good place to be. It moves the stretch a little bit more behind the hip. If you'd like, you can take the right hand to the right thigh and push to open your heart up more. If you have the range of motion, maybe you're going to take your right hand behind your back like with a bind and grab for your right toes. Or if you really don't feel anything here because you've got very open hips, you might instead take your left shoulder to the center of your mat to intensify the hip flexion and create more sensation there. Good. So you guys keep doing that. I'm just looking at y'all. So one more inhale here to explore your twist. As you exhale, place your right hand down. Inhale, press away from your mat, press your left leg straight. Exhale, step your right foot back and lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your left leg long behind you, bend the knee, open it at the top. And then exhale, bring your left knee to the outside of your left wrist, left foot to the right side of your mat, right leg long behind you. And again, I encourage you to sit upright here for a moment to really notice the distribution of weight between your right and left hips. Adjust your leg, try to make sure that your right leg is going straight out behind you. Take an inhale to get long through the spine. And then exhale to fold forward across the left leg. Oof, good. You don't have to come all the way down. It's all right to be on your forearms, on your elbows, if that's where you are today. There is no wrong place to be. See if you can't pay attention not only to the sort of the orientation of your body in space, but do a quick catalog of those sensations that present themselves to you, right? We don't ask for what we feel, it just shows up. And the question that we must answer is whether we're going to attend to it, whether we're going to give it power, whether we're going to give it attention. Important thing to keep in mind, these sensations, as long as they're not injurious sensations, are not themselves going to do you harm. At least in this posture, this is mere discomfort. And in this supported space and environment, especially in the safety of, I assume, your homes, you can do a little bit of science. And as you move closer to those places that seem impossible or seem unfriendly, maybe question whether this is a limitation that actually exists in your body and in your experience, or whether this is a limitation that comes merely from your expectations and assumptions about this posture. Together, exhale, empty, empty, empty out the lungs. Take a full, deep, smooth, complete breath in. And then exhale, let that go. Again, we're going to inhale, bring ourselves up partway. And then as you exhale, you're going to take your right elbow this time, put it at the center of your mat, right fingertips towards the left. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Take a nice twist. And then here, make some choices. Maybe left hand to left thigh to lift. Maybe left hand comes behind your back to pull. Maybe just keep reaching up towards the ceiling because it's nice to open through the chest so you can twist more. And then maybe you need to put your right shoulder on the ground to get more of a stretch. Take one more inhale here with whatever you've got. And then exhale, place your left hand down. Inhale, press away, press your right leg straight. And then exhale, step your left foot back and lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. And then, we didn't do yogi push-ups. I'm so hard on you guys. From here, inhale forward to a plank. So finding a good solid plank, shoulders directly over wrists, hips as high as shoulders. I'm not gonna make you do push-ups, it's okay. So keep your spine nice and long. Maybe put your knees down if you must. But together, we're gonna slowly lower on my count of 6, 5, 4, 3. Some of you are way too low for 3. 3. We're gonna go find 3. 3. 3. We've done no upper body stuff. 3, 2, 1. All the way down. So keep your hands more or less where they are. Maybe scoot them back a little bit so your elbows are directly on top of your wrists. Press your legs nice and straight. Push the tops of your feet down. With your next inhale, we're just going to do a quick cobra. Lift your heart up, open through your chest. So think of pulling the elbows back. Your hands are light on the floor. They're not doing any work. Draw the collarbones wide. One more inhale here. And then exhale, lower, slow, all the way down. Bring your left ear to the mat, looking to your right, hands by your hips, palms facing up. Moment of rest. Good. And then from here, bring your chin to the floor. Reach your arms out long in front of you. Hopefully you've got space for that in your space. Legs still together. Exhale, push your belly button down. Inhale, reach arms forward, legs back, and lift up. Shalabhasana, locust pose, superhero, human, whatever thing. Think of lengthening through front side body. Think of grounding down through your belly so that you can lift. Reach farther and lift. Become longer and lift. Keep reaching, keep lifting, and then release. Bring your right ear to the mat, looking to your left. Hands by your hips, palms facing up. And take a moment just to breathe. Good, 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 good. So from here, bring your hands to the floor. Just push yourself straight up as a plank. One push-up, the only one, and put your knees on the floor. Now, without rounding your spine, come up to standing on your knees. Make sure that your knees are about hips width distance, your feet roughly behind your knees, and take a quick set of Ustrasana, camel's pose. So here, take your hands around to your low back, fingers pointing down. Really walk the shoulder blades and elbows in close to one another. So all the weight stays on your knees. First thing, you're gonna lift your chin up, open through your throat, pull the shoulder blades together. Pull your collarbones wide, lift your heart up, keep your belly in, engage the muscles of your low back, make your low back longer. As you start to go back, gaze travels back. Maybe you can see the wall behind you, in which case you can bring your hands to your heels, fingers on the inside, thumbs on the outside. Good, remember that your hands, they are holding you back, they are not holding you up. Push your hips more forward. And then slowly, slowly, gently, carefully start to bring yourself up. Sit your hips down. Cross your ankles underneath you, and or bring your legs around, whatever the case may be, and come to seated. Good. So from here, pull the flesh out from underneath your sitting bones. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, fold forward. Fun one to say in Sanskrit, Paschimottanasana, the intense stretch of the West. West referring to that particular side of your body. So here, hands might come to your shins. They might come to your toes. They might go beyond your toes. You might hold on to the sides of your feet. You might grab grab wrists beyond your feet. If you're very bendy, you might grab elbows beyond your feet. There are people I've seen them, they do that. It doesn't really matter so much. And then slowly, gradually, one vertebra at a time, bring yourself all the way back up to seated. Good. And then once you're seated, scoot your hips forward, just a wee tad, just a little bit. And I'm gonna set up for a set of Navasana, the boat pose. So feet are on the floor for just now. Make sure that you are more or less balanced on your sitting bones. Reach your arms out in front of you. And then point through your toes, lift your shins parallel to the floor. If it works for your balance, whoop, maybe your legs straight. It does not work for my balance. So we're gonna take some twists here. So inhale, lift through your heart, lengthen through your spine, and exhale, twist to your right. Good, inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to your left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twisting right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twisting left. Inhale, come back to center. Separate the palms. Inhale, knees close to chest. Exhale, lower, lengthen, hover. Inhale, knees close to chest. Exhale, lower, lengthen, hover. Inhale, knees in. Exhale, lower, lengthen, hover. Really try to hollow the body, the front body. Inhale, knees to chest, so sucking your belly in as you do this. Exhale, low, lengthen, hover. One more time, inhale, knees in. Exhale, lower, lengthen, hover, and maintain. So pulling the belly button down through the spine, maintain. Shoulders slightly lifted from the floor, maintain. Maybe reach the arms out long, past your ears. Maybe do the scissor kicks. Traditional for 3, for 2, for 1. And release. Good, and take like a big, well-deserved belly breath. That's what you want to do. You guys are on your backs. I just need to mess with the computer. So, lying on your belly, on your back, bring your knees into your chest, give them a great big hug, great big squeeze. Good, then bring your arms inside your knees. Grab the outsides of your feet and open the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling for Ananda Balasana, happy baby's pose. And here, normally, we have the lights down in the studio so nobody can see you. I would turn off everyone's camera, but I don't know if I know how to do that. But please be shameless in this exploration and celebration of your body, moving, rolling, what have you, breathing in a way that works. Good. And then from here, in these last few moments of the practice, if you want to take a shoulder stand, a plow, a wheel, a bridge, or some other sequence of closing postures, I leave it to your discretion as to what your body needs most in these moments. A couple quick things. While you guys all do that, just keep like one ear open. So I'm sure you're all well aware the entire yoga world is in a very different place these days. Yoga to the People has always been a donation-based enterprise, or at least the Vinyasa classes have. And so in the spirit of that, if you're in a position to contribute, you can do so through the website instead of the tissue box that we usually have at the back of the room. It's a brave new world out there. And also for those of you who would like, despite the circumstances, to become yoga teachers, to be Yoga to the People certified, we are having another training program coming up. I might be contributing, I don't know. So you might hang out with me. You will definitely hang out with lots of awesome other people. And if you'd like details, again, there's lots of information on the website. So if you're not already there, start to make your way to your final Shavasana. So find a position where your hips are supported by the floor, where your legs are nice and long. Make sure to bring your shoulder blades together enough that the ribs and collarbones just kind of fall away from one another. Maybe rock your head gently from side to side a couple of times, just to make sure that your neck is relaxed. And once you come back to center, give the chin a quick tuck to lengthen the back of the neck. Good. So we end class with a quote. Sadly, I do not have a singing bowl, but I love Rilke quotes. So this is my Rilke quote today. It is clear that we must trust what is difficult. Everything alive trusts in it. Everything in nature grows and defeats itself in any way it can, and is spontaneously itself, tries to be itself at all costs and against all opposition. We know little, but that we must trust in what is difficult is a certainty that will never abandon us. It is good to be solitary, for solitude is difficult. That something is difficult must be one more reason for us to do it. So one last time together as this class. Exhale, empty, empty, empty lungs. Find a full inhale to your best belly, your chest. Hold it there for a moment. And together through the ether, exhale, let that go. You're welcome to stay here in Shavasana. It's your experience. But if you're ready, bring your knees gently into your chest and come over onto your right side and support your head with your right arm. And transitioning out of this gently and slowly, feel your body, feel your breath, feel gravity as it acts on you here on your side. And then as you're ready, as it's right, come up to a comfortable seated position. That could be Sukhasana, easy pose, just sitting cross-legged. Siddhasana, the adept's pose, so with the ankles in front of one another. Could be Padmasana, lotus. Virasana, hero's pose, sitting on your heels. Vajrasana, the bolt, sitting between them. So I hardly recommend, if it is a practice of yours, perhaps a nice seated meditation of whatever flavor. In any case, I want to tell you guys, thank you so much for being here, for giving me the opportunity to share this evening with you, for giving me and one another some company and some enjoyment tonight. So thank you very much. Namaste.